Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Lord Brahma in his ignorance contemplated, who am I that I am situated on the top of this lotus? Wherefrom has it sprouted? There must be something downwards, and that from which this lotus has grown must be within the water. Purport. The subject matter of speculation of Brahma in the beginning of regarding the creation of the cosmic manifestation is still a subject matter for mental speculators. The most intelligent man is he who tries to find the cause of his personal existence and that of the whole cosmic creation, and thus tries to find the ultimate cause. If his attempt is properly executed with penances and perseverance, it is sure to be crowned with success. Next two verses also I'll read. Lord Brahma, thus contemplating, entered the channel of the stem of the lotus. But in spite of his entering the stem and going nearer to the navel of Vishnu, he could not trace out the root. Purport. By dint of one's personal endeavor, one may go nearer to the Lord, but without the Lord's mercy, one cannot reach the ultimate point. Such understanding of the Lord is possible only by devotional service. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mama vijanati yavan yaschashmi tattvataha. Next verse. O Vidura, while searching in that way about his existence, Brahma reached his ultimate time, which is the eternal wheel in the hands of Vishnu, and which generates fear in the mind of the living entity, like the fear of death. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat the translation. Lord Brahma, in his ignorance, contemplated, who am I that I am situated on the top of this lotus? Wherefrom has it sprouted? There must be something downwards, and that from which this lotus has grown must be within the water. So, here are the reflections or the thoughts going on in the mind of Brahma after realizing that suddenly he is sitting on a lotus. Because Brahma is coming out of Lord Vishnu. So Brahma found himself on a lotus and is inquiring, oh, this is a lotus, that there must be an origin. And it is said here that he goes down the stem and still he doesn't find the origin. Now all these Prabhupada explains here that by mental speculation one cannot reach Vishnu, one cannot go to one's origin. It is only by bhakti, bhaktya mam abhijanati, only by bhakti one can, even you are near the Lord, you will realize the Lord only when the Lord allows you. By dint of one's personal endeavor, one may go nearer to the Lord. But without the Lord's mercy, one cannot reach the ultimate point. Such understanding of the Lord is possible only by devotion service. And this is also every human being sometimes asks this question, who am I? Especially so, he asks this question because he sees that all the bodies are dying. My body also will die. So who am I? Am I this body who dies? Am I this body who grows, who takes birth? So these stark realities of life, nobody can answer. Only the Lord can answer through Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Modern science cannot answer. Just like Brahma found himself sitting on a lotus. So he's asking, what is this lotus? Why am I sitting here? Who am I? Who put me here? These are the natural questions. Today our questions are no different from Brahma's question. Instead of being in lotus, you discover that I am in a body. What is this body? Who gave this body? Why this body is growing old? What is it drama? Everybody comes into a body as a baby. Then it grows, maintains old age and death. So what is this? Anybody who does not ask this question is like a ostrich putting the head inside the sand. When an ostrich is attacked, better think that there is no attack. So put the head into the sand. And ignorance is bliss. In the same way, I know so much knowledge you are inquiring about this, that, this, science, physics, chemistry, what not, so deep, what is matter? But you don't want to inquire about you? You are the one who is studying physics, chemistry, everything. You are the one who is seeking the truth. You are the one who is seeking the knowledge of science. First, if you are really a seeker of truth, first you should know who is a seeker. Who are you? You are only trying to understand what is it that I see. Why don't you ask who is the person who is seeing? Science does not want to go that deep. But it is a very natural question. So because they have no idea, if you stick to truth means what we see with our senses, then there is a question of, they cannot even start their research. Because truth is, the soul is spirit. It is another substance. It is not amenable to the five senses. So soul is to be realized by self-knowledge. Just like I have knowledge of this table. The same way I have self-knowledge. So nobody in the modern world is interested in self-knowledge because he doesn't have any clue. At the most, his only knowledge is, I am this body. I am this body, that's all. But why this body is changing? why this body is taking birth, why this body dies, what is the importance of this body. My entire life, my entire experience is centered around this body. So how important this body is. And also you see sometimes there are good bodies, bad bodies, efficient bodies, handsome, ugly, handicapped, very intelligent bodies, dumb, varieties you see. And then you also see, oh, it is very desirable. Oh, if I could be as intelligent as him, if I could have a strong body like him, if I could be as handsome as him or as beautiful as him, that means we aspire for all good things about this body. Why do we aspire? They don't ask this question. We ask this question. Real Brahma Jignasa. Body is not aspiring. My ugly body is not aspiring to become a beautiful body. I in the body I am aspiring. Oh, instead of this body, if I had that body, it would have been so good. Is it not? So body is a possession of the soul. So real person is the soul, is the spirit in this body. What is the characteristic of spirit? The characteristic of spirit is what you don't find in matter. In this body, what is it that you don't find in matter? There is ability to know matter. The table doesn't know itself. There is no knowledge in itself. But in this body, I know me. There is a knowing ability. Through the senses, of course, I know. I look there, I know that. I look at the mic, I know the mic. I look at you, I know you. But ultimately, knowing is the ability of the soul. Knowing. And then next is being. Being is another ability. Just like, if I tell you now you have to act in a drama, and if I tell that you have to play the role of a king, then what? If I tell this table you play a role of a king, it cannot. If I tell you, you can. That means you can. It is not the ability of your body. It is the ability of your soul to be. To be. Aham. Aham can become a king. This is the ability of the soul. Once you say, oh, I am something, then I am the body, then my body's ability is my abilities. My body's possessions are mine. So this is called aham mameti. Aham mameti. I, my, mine. You can go and say, I am a dog. I am a man. I am a woman. That I am is soul's ability. Just like knowing is a being. I am. In this life we are stuck. I am this body. This particular body. So this is called being. The original I am is I am an eternal servant of Krishna. I am not matter. But I think I am the body. So knowing, being, every being, moment you act like you take the role of a king. What is the next? All the desires of a king. Right? Then you think, feel and will like a king. Then you act like a king. Then you enjoy like a king. These are all not the ability of the body, these are all ability of the soul. And the nature of the soul is always, just like nature of fire is light and heat, the nature of the soul is Sat Chitta Ananda. Eternity, eternal existence, knowledge and bliss. It is the nature of the Atma, nature of the soul. Using all these abilities. What is this ability? Knowing, being, thinking, feeling, willing, doing, experiencing. He is trying to fulfill his aspiration for Sattva Chitta Ananda. Where there is such explanation? Except in our scriptures. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says my original thinking, feeling, willing, doing, being, everything is, I am servant of Krishna. Jivere Surupoy Krishnera Nitya Dasa. We are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who is the Supreme Knower, Supreme Being, Supreme Thinker, Supreme Feelings, Willing, Supreme Activities. We are Amshas. Prabhupada says, by trying to understand we are sample God. Each of us are persons. God is a supreme person. One can understand that. So what is the benefit in understanding all these things? The soul's nature, soul's function is that of a person, not imperson. Person. That is what I began saying. What is the difference between body and the spirit? Now this inquiry you cannot find answers to these inquiries through our sense impressions. Somebody will simply challenge, what is there? Show me. You take a microscope, show me inside, where is the soul? But they don't realize that you are stuck in your instrument. We have to point out that you are assuming that what is in this body can be seen by an instrument. But there are other ways of inquiry and realizing. Higher instruments of spiritual intelligence. Not material intelligence, spiritual intelligence. And Guru, Sadhu and Shastra is spiritual intelligence. Through the instrument of spiritual intelligence, the soul can find out who he is. That is one path. That is the Jnani's path. Our path, the path of bhakti, is to surrender to the supreme intelligence, and he will provide us all intelligence. It is to surrender to the Supreme Person as his eternal servant, then all the truths will be revealed. So our path is very simple. That knowledge, that transcendental knowledge, is what is lacking for the soul in this body. Conditioned soul, what is lacking is Krishna. My thinking is lacking Krishna. Take all jivas in this material world. What is lacking? In their thinking, there is no Krishna. In their feeling, there is no Krishna. In their willing, there is no Krishna. In their activity, there is no Krishna. Whereas my original soul, unless in my thinking is meant for thinking of Krishna. My feeling is meant for feeling for Krishna. My willing is meant for acting for Krishna. My knowing is meant for Krishna. I am Amsha of Krishna. God has created me for connection with the Purna, to feel, think, feel, will, everything in our constitutional position as servant of the Lord. So these verses, they show how Brahma, by his own effort, mental speculation, you could not get any answer. That is the essence. And ultimately, Lord has to reveal. So in our case also, we have to understand that self-knowledge, Krishna knowledge, other knowledge you can get through your instruments, physics, chemistry, everything. But self-knowledge, knowledge of God, you cannot get it unless the Lord himself reveals. Lord is everywhere, still. The all-pervading Lord is everywhere. Still we don't touch him. Our consciousness does not touch him. Because first of all, we have to understand, it is by consciousness you can touch him. What kind of consciousness? Not jnanic consciousness. Devotee consciousness is there, then it can touch. Lord can reveal himself. Just as when we do our chanting, the scriptures reveal that that is Krishna himself. The sound is Krishna himself. The nama is Krishna himself. Nama and Nami, there is no bheda. But yet we don't feel we are touching Krishna. Because Krishna is all attractive. Krishna is the Surya of Satchidananda. And he is before us, but it doesn't strike us. To the degree to which it has struck us, we have become devotees. But at my will, I cannot go on. I can try to take his association. But the Lord should give his association. Transcendental association. Ye tamam prabadhyanse tam sthite bhajamyaham. Even though we give example of iron put in the fire becomes red hot. Similarly, you chant and hear, you will become spiritualized. It is not exactly same analogy. Fire is an impersonal example. Fire doesn't have free will. Fire is not a person. So we tend to think, अच्छी तरह सुनने से काम हो जाएगा, सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन आ जाएगा. सुनने से पहले सुनना है, भगवान की कृपा होना है. यहाँ ये सुन रहे हैं, ठीक है, मैं कृपा देगा. सुनने में ऑटोमेटिक नहीं है सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन. Hearing is nothing but begging to associate, chanting and hearing. The Lord is a person. Nama Prabhu is a person. Nama Prabhu is not like fire. But at the same time, he is the fire of Satchidananda. Moment you say Sat means eternal. Chit means person. Ananda means person. So therefore he is a fire of Satchidananda when we say. If you stay in that fire, in the proper mood, that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hare is the most important bhavana to stand before the Lord, for Him to reciprocate. You stand before the Lord as a jnani, He is not very impressed. Stand before Him as I am yours. I am a soul's part and parcel, yours. I belong to you. I am your property. I am some independent person, now I am surrendering to you. No. I was always your property. Every living entity is Krishna's property. But He has given freedom. You only have to realize we are His property. So unless there is a proper bhakti, as it says, bhaktyamam abhijanati, even in our japa, Lord reciprocates. God Himself has come before us. With the right kind of feeling that is revealed in the scriptures, all summed up together as bhakti bhavana. So Lord is before us, whether we do deity worship or whether we are chanting Hare Krishna, it has to be done with bhakti bhavana. Bhavagrahi Janardana. Chanting 16 rounds. Bhavana of obedience to, anusarana to Supreme, to my Guru Maharaj. I have faith. I have Shraddha. That if I follow what Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna's Kripa will come into my life. So mechanically chanting is one thing. But chanting with bhakti bhavana can make us touch the Lord's Sat, Chit, Ananda. Just like touching fire? No. Can make us touch Satchidananda. You can touch Satchidananda, but how much Sat should flow into you, how much Chit should flow into you, how much Ananda should flow into you. These are three energies. It should flow into you to remove your Asat, Achit and Nirananda, Jadananda, all that false beliefs. Asat means I am this body is Asat. It's a false belief. I am this body. Achit, the knowledge that I get through my senses is absolute knowledge. It's total lies. Jadananda, false pleasure. Anything from the Jada, matter, it does not contain pleasure. That pleasure is concocted. Fake pleasure. Make-believe pleasure. It takes time to realize that. When will you realize that? When real Ananda comes from Krishna. How can you find out something is fake? When you get the real thing. Otherwise, he'll say, hey, why you are saying this fake pleasure? Pleasure hai. ये material world में senses का pleasure hai. अरे तुम compare नहीं किया ना. Real pleasure, पहले Ananda. What is association? Let the Ananda flow from the Harinama into your heart. Then you know, this is fake pleasure. Then detachment comes. From higher taste, lower taste goes. What is the root for that? Is begging the Lord. Kripa Peksha, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It is all Lord. Vaishnava philosophy means the Lord and His energies. Krishna consciousness doesn't mean, because we're all rooted basically in impersonalism. We say absolute truth is, we go one step from impersonal. He is not impersonal, but he is person. But it doesn't end there. A person means he has to be understood with all his energies. Vaishnava philosophy means absolute truth is God and His opulence, His energies. And what are His energies? Classified under Sandhini potency, Samvit potency and Ladini potency. The short form of that is Sat, Chit and Ananda. So it's all energy. To that degree, that the iron in the fire analogy is extremely useful. Because there is by being associated, you get that energy. Light, heat flowed from the fire into the iron. In this, only thing in this our case is that how much heat should flow, the fire will decide. Fire is a person. The fire of Satchidananda. Krishna is Surya of Satchidananda. Nama Prabhu will decide, तैयार है क्या? फिर भी attached है, तो थोड़ा ज्ञान देगा, detach हो जाओ. Ultimately, we have to decide. So, Krishna, it's all about flow of energies. Krishna releases that. It's all about flow of energy means, again, spiritual advancement is all about association. It's all about association. Association with Krishna, association with Guru, association with Vaishnava, association with Shastras. Like iron associating with fire. How much you associate, that energy flows. You read Bhagavatam, the energy flows. Spiritual energy flows. Samvit Shakti, Vidya Shakti. So basically, the path of Bhagavatam is trying to, self-realization and God realization can come only through devotion, devotional service. That is the reason how Prabhupada, translated. He translated bhakti not as devotion. Everywhere, devotional service, devotional service, devotional service, devotional service. Now we hear devotion service, devotion service, devotional service, and we miss out devotional. Service, 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 service. No doubt, that it is devotional service is better than just service. Devotional service is better than just devotion. हाँ, भक्ति दिल में है, कुछ करने का नहीं है, सेवा नहीं करने का है. कृष्ण ने बोला भावग्राही जनार्दन, हम खाली भावा देते रहेंगे. Devotional service, every word that Prabhupada has used has got such a deep meaning in it. Because it's coming from the spiritual world, Command for Srila Prabhupada is coming from the spiritual world. Prabhupada said every word is coming from the spiritual world, from Krishna. I am not writing, Krishna is writing. That is the reason that it's atrocious for changing Prabhupada's words. What Prabhupada gave class from that book, today what you see Bhagavad Gita is completely changed. So this is Macmillan edition. In this edition also something is missing. When I read Bhagavad Gita, when I was in IIT, one line hit me so deeply, I don't find that line here. In the introduction. In the introduction, Prabhupada says, I am that consciousness. Then he says, I am a dog. I am a man. All those things. Then he says that I am is part of this soul. That is that aham bhavana. That is the shakti of the soul. As I said, I can act as a king, I can act as a beggar. Suddenly, with the same person who was outside the stage, suddenly is acting like a king. Outside the stage, he may be a beggar. On the stage, he suddenly become a king. What is that ability? It is the ability of the soul to be, to become. There we have done the fundamental mistake. I forgot that I am servant of Krishna. And everything else I am is causing us this present calamity. That is the meaning of saying that fallen down. The living entity has fallen down. That means his identification with himself is gone. He is identifying with something which he is not. Fallen down. So, every word, devotional service in its proper spirit, one has to, because when it comes to service, it's not only feeling that you give. When you do a service, knowing, desiring, thinking, feeling, willing, acting, the whole soul you have to give in service. Feeling is only one part of it. At the same time, this feeling is very important. Because without feeling, just like philosophy, you can think of philosophy without feeling. Whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness. But in practical life, when you apply the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, feeling comes. Look at the feelings of Prahlad, look at the feelings of Kunti Devi. They're all coming from practical situations. Philosophy we can say, we can read Prahlad Maharaj's story, whole Leela. We can read Kunti Devi's whole Leela. But if you don't feel the situation in which they are, just philosophy, okay, dependent upon Krishna. We say, hey, depend upon Krishna. That line has got very deep, deeper and deeper and deeper feelings. And when we actually do practical service to Krishna, then all those feelings, philosophical feelings, means that philosophy gets realized. I am not the body. But do you feel I am not the body? Do you feel your identity that I am not this body? Just like I feel very nicely, I am not that body. Total realization I have. I am not this body, I am not this body, I am not this body, I am not. But I am not this body. Same way do you feel? No. So anyway, that's why one day when that Chitta Shakti from the Lord flows into my heart from the Nama Prabhu, I will feel detachment from what is not me. That detachment is called Vairagya Shakti. Knowledge I am having, I am not this body. But Vairagya Shakti is not there. Everybody here knows I am not this body. Knowledge is there, I am not this body. But can you feel I am not this body? You cannot. For that, what do you need? Vairagya. That is another Shakti, Vairagya Shakti. Just like you take two metal pieces, put araldite, you stick it. Now you want to detach it. You need a Shakti, no? Because it is held together. There is an adhesive in between. So दो प्लेट को ऐसा ऐसा पकड़ के खींचने से सेपरेट हो जाता है. So something is attached, उसको डिटैच करने के लिए शक्ति चाहिए. वो वैराग्य शक्ति बोलते हैं. वो वैराग्य शक्ति किधर से आता है? भगवान से आता है. Because he is the reservoir of all Shaktis. He is a Purna Shaktiman. So our route of making spiritual advancement is by associating with the Lord in his different avatars. And all these are, each of these avatars, Krishna, whether he's come as a Archa Vigraha or as a Nama, is a Surya of Satchidananda. This Surya we can see with our eyes. तो सूर्य सच्चिदानंदा की हम तो दिखता ही नहीं कुछ. हरे कृष्ण कुछ सूर्य तो दिखता नहीं. किधर है सत्य चित्तानंद? अरे सत्य आंख से नहीं देख सकता है. हमारा आत्मा सत्य है. हमारा आत्मा हम देख सकते हैं? नहीं. तो कृष्ण का सत्य और सत्य शक्ति कैसे आंख से देख सकते हैं? पकड़ नहीं सकता है. चित्त, प्योर नॉलेज, you cannot catch with your material intelligence. Because now I have only material intelligence. Ananda, I cannot catch. Why I cannot catch Ananda? Because that Ananda is meant for Atma. Atma is covered. So how you will detect that Ananda? So unless Krishna gives that Kripa, because we are devotees, because right from somewhere by good fortune of Prabhupada and Nama Prabhu, इधर उधर थोड़ा टच कर लिया, हमारा आत्मा को आनंद लग गया, इसलिए हम इधर बैठा है. आनंद शक्ति टच कर लिया इसलिए इधर बैठा है. चित्त शक्ति टच किया इसलिए इधर बैठा है. ऐसे नहीं कि मेरा बड़ा बुद्धि का, मैं बहुत बुद्धिशाली हूं, मैंने सब कृष्ण कॉन्शियस समझ लिया इसलिए मैं अभी भक्त हूं. ठीक है, समझ लिया, कौन समझाया? ये हरे कृष्ण चैंटिंग से समझौता, अंडरस्टैंडिंग आया है. So our way of becoming advanced in spiritual life is not an intellectual exercise. It is an exercise of submissively, humbly associating with Krishna, who is available in so many forms, very mercifully. And most merciful among them is just move your tongue. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Become attached to the Nama, become attached to chanting the holy name, become attached to hearing the holy name. Chanting is worshipping, hearing is associating. You chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's like you are producing one vessel to catch kripa. By your utterance, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Lord's all Shakti comes into that Shakti Avaishya Nama. उसके बाद क्या करेगा? उसको छोड़ देगा ऐसा? नहीं, अंदर लेके जाके शक्ति अवश्य नाम, उसको टच करने से वो शक्ति आपको आएगा। नहीं तो एक कलयुग में सब शास्त्र पढ़ के जिज्ञास करके पूरा पागल हो जाएगा, किधर भी पहुंचेगा नहीं, किधर भी पहुंचेगा नहीं। अभी इतना सत्य गुण हमारे पास है, जितना है अभी ये रूम में है, सत्य गुण जो है, ये इतना सत्य गुण तक आने के लिए 10,000 ईयर्स स्पेकुलेट करना पड़ता है। अभी खाली 2-3 महीने 2-3 साल जप करने से हमारा गुण बदल गया। अगर आपकी गुण नहीं बदला है तो अभी ये हॉल में बैठ नहीं सकता है। ये तो कुछ इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है, भाग जाएगा और कुछ करेंगे। अब देखिए, आप सब बैठ के इंटरेस्ट से सुन रहे हैं, ये इंटरेस्ट किधर से आया? सोल प्यूरिफाई हुआ है, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन चेंज हुआ है, ये अनुभव है हमारा जीवन में। स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ एक्चुअली हम अनुभव करता है। आपकी कोई स्कूल फ्रेंड को देखो, उसका कॉन्शियसनेस क्या है अभी उनको मिलेगा तो आप इमीडिएटली आप नहीं सोचेंगे तो नहीं, उसका अच्छा कॉन्शियसनेस है, थोड़ा मैं ज्वाइन कर लिया, वो इंजीनियर बन गया, वो बन गया, ये बन गया, वो भैया वो स्टार्टअप किया है, वो वी नेवर इवन फील दैट, वी ओनली फील पिटी फॉर हिम। Why do you feel so? Because you are able to compare in your heart. You know what is going on there in the उसका दिल में क्या चल रहा है। Completely ignorant. किधर जाएगा? स्टार्टअप करके इतना बना के किधर जाएगा? लेके जाएगा? बेस्ट स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ का स्टार्टअप करो, जपमाला ले लो, हाँ, स्टार्टअप, दिस आर बेस्ट स्टार्टअप। Multi-billionaires we become. Every bead of your chanting and hearing is invaluable. Invaluable means what? उसको वैल्यू नहीं बोल सकता है, वैल्यूबल नहीं है, इनवैल्यूबल। वैल्यूबल मीन्स यहाँ एक वैल्यू डाल सकता है, इनवैल्यूबल है। अब जब करते एक बीड इनवैल्यूबल है, इसलिए एक बीड भी छोड़ना नहीं, सुनना, एसोसिएट करना। That is all, the whole secret. Sab kripa is there. That is why it is said in this yuga, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalo nastyeva gatiranyata. It is not only for preaching to other people. हरे नाम उनको बोलते हैं जब शुरू करो। हमारा कुछ प्रॉब्लम आता है, हम और कुछ सोचते हैं सोल्यूशन, और कुछ चीज के ऊपर आश्रय रखते हैं। इमीडिएटली अपने को बोलना है, सब प्रॉब्लम के लिए एक ही सोल्यूशन है, हरे नाम एव केवलम, कलो नास्त्यव अन्यथा। That faith should be there. Harinam will lead me. Harinam will protect me. Harinam will maintain me. Harinam will feed my soul with the Satya Chittan Ananda. Utna sab, that kind of dependence and faith we should have in the holy name, because holy name is Krishna. नाम चिंतामणि बोलते हैं, Chintamani means fulfiller of all spiritual desires. Nama Chintamani. ऐसे नहीं कि कोई आपके दिल से आप प्रार्थना करते हैं नाम प्रभु से, it will always be fulfilled. This is Nama Chintamani. Your problem with your senses, chant Hare Krishna. Pray to the holy name. Your problem with the mind in spiritual life, pray to the holy name. कैसा सॉल्व होता है मेरे को नहीं मालूम. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम राम. वो प्रार्थना सुन लेंगे. उसका रास्ता भी वो जिधर सॉल्यूशन मिलना है वो रास्ता में लेके आके वो सॉल्यूशन दिला देते हैं. दैट इज नाम चिंतामणि, कृष्ण चैतन्य रस विग्रह. So the principle here is a bhakta makes advancement only by kripa. Now then one may say, तो हम तो कुछ नहीं करने का है, कृपा से हो जाएगा. हम जो कुछ करते हैं, it is only an indication to Krishna how deep is my desire. तो कृपा दे देते हैं. नहीं हमको स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज, भगवद्गीता का नॉलेज सब ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाएगा, हम कुछ नहीं करने का है. तो पढ़ने में क्या फायदा है? आप बोलते हैं सब आ जाएंगे, पढ़ने में क्या है? ये पढ़ने में आप दिल से दिखा देते हैं, कृष्णा को इंडिकेट करते हैं कि मेरे को चाहिए, I want this. So the more you struggle to read, more is your desire. The more is your desire, it will attract Krishna's mercy. तो जो पढ़ता है वो स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज बनना है, वो स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज करके कन्वर्ट होने का है, तो वो कृपा चाहिए, भगवान की कृपा चाहिए. Any questions?
Krishna, as you told that advancement is as according to our association or desire of Kripa, where we are associating with the holy name, the Guru, Sadhu, and Sanskars. So here that somebody should have that kind of intelligence so that he can judge whom to associate. Then how one can acquire that kind of intelligence so that he can associate with the right people.
फले ना परिचित है. आपको फल मिल रहा है, एसोसिएशन ठीक है. आप किसी से एसोसिएट करते हैं, ज्यादा कंफ्यूज होता है तो क्या फायदा है? क्या फायदा है? ओनली टेस्ट. हम इनसे एसोसिएट करते हैं, हमको प्रेरणा मिलता है, कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस आगे बढ़ाने के लिए प्रेरणा मिलता है, उससे एसोसिएट करो. किसी से एसोसिएट करता है, डल हो जाता है, कंफ्यूजन होता है, आजू बाजू मत जाओ. नेगेटिविटी बोलते हैं, नेगेटिविटी सब नेगेटिव है. सम डिवोटीज कर्मा इज दैट, हर बार सब नेगेटिव ही देखते हैं. क्रिटिसाइजिंग, कंप्लेनिंग, कंपेयरिंग, हैबिट है ना, हैबिट हो जाता है. कंप्लेन 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 कंप्लेन, क्रिटिसाइज 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 क्रिटिसाइज, कंपेयर 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 कंपेयर. ये आदमी को कभी शांति नहीं होगा. भगवान खुद आएगा तो भी उसको प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं कर सकता है, नहीं कर सकता. So we have to be, we have to understand that Krishna's kripa is there. We have to have. Why do you criticize? at the root of criticism is I know something better than somebody else. मेरा बुद्धि बहुत है, मैं क्रिटिसाइज करता हूं. Why do you compare? Because of material desires. मेरे पास जो है उनके पास है, उनके पास जो नहीं है मेरे पास है, तो प्राइड हो गया. उनके पास जो है वो मेरे पास नहीं है, तो एनवी हो जाता है. प्राइड और एनवी आ जाता है. प्राइड एंड एनवी इज लाइक लस्ट ओनली. ये कृष्ण का स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता है, आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता है. दैट इज तृणादपि सुने चेना तरोरपि सहिष्णु अमानी न मान देना कीर्तनिया सदा हरि. ये जो भावना होता है चैतन्य महाप्रभु को, इसमें कोई डिवोटेड टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करता है. मैं क्या कंप्लेन करूं, क्या क्रिटिसाइज करूं, क्या कंप्लेन, मेरा ड्यूटी है तो मैं करेंगे. टीचर का ड्यूटी है कुछ गलत निकालना. मैं उनका टीचर नहीं हूं, मैं क्यों गलत दिखता हूं. मेरा आश्रम में बाजू वाला है, उनका काम देखने दो, मैं मेरा काम देख. अगर मेरे को ड्यूटी दिया है, ये देखो ये मंगला आरती आता है नहीं आता है, कितना बार आता है नहीं आता है, नॉट इन क्रिटिसाइजिंग मूड. मेरा ड्यूटी है, मैं बताता हूं जाके, मैं ट्रैक करता हूं, बस हो गया. We should keep our mind and heart very, 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 very clean with respect to relationship with other jivas. This is the meaning of humility. Then very easily the Satya Chitta and Ananda will flow into our heart. As long as we keep that negativity, it will not flow. That is the disease of the jiva, no? That is why we are in this material world. And transcendental knowledge, real divya gyan, when it comes into our heart, all this will develop. आपको रियलाइजेशन हो कि टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. मैं ये दुनिया में इतना गलत है, गलत देखते रहते हैं, गलत देखते रहते तो क्या फायदा है. अगर प्रभुपाद आपको बुलाया और बोला देखो तुम्हारा काम आज से क्या है, सबका गलत देखना है, तो देखो उसमें कुछ भी तुमको इफेक्ट नहीं होगा. सो यू शुड नो व्हाट इज आवर ड्यूटी. ड्यूटी के अंदर करो. अगर ड्यूटी किसी को दिया है, किसी को करेक्ट करना है, बक्ता ट्रेनिंग, टेम्पल कमांडर को ड्यूटी है ट्रेनिंग करना है, ऐसा नहीं करना है, तिलक ऐसा डालना है, ऐसा नहीं डालना है, उसको वो करेक्ट करना पड़ता है. लेकिन वो जो करता है वो ऐसा उसको करेक्ट करने में वो आनंद नहीं लेते हैं. वो सोचते हैं अरे ये तो मेरे को अकॉर्डिंग टू भक्ति I should not become proud. I should not start taking rasa in correcting everybody. अरे ये नहीं दिया है. You please kindly tell him and humble, do your duty and tell him and preach to him, talk to him. And you should be very careful. मेरा ड्यूटी ऐसा दिया है, I can become proud. तो थोड़ा डेंजर ड्यूटी है ये, डेंजर ड्यूटी है. और वो केयरफुली करेगा उतना कृपा ही मिलेगा. तो कोई तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना. ऐसा नहीं कि सब भक्ता को ज्वाइन करके कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं देता है. उसको क्या गलत है क्या ठीक है नहीं बोलते हैं, बोलना पड़ता है. जिसको ड्यूटी दिया वो करने.
Regarding soulful japa, as we can touch this Nama Prabhu with attention. So the attention connection. So what is this connection of attention in this soulful japa, where this attention is spiritual or material?
Attention is always spiritual. Matter does not have attention. Soul का quality है attention, energy. तो वो सोल का क्वालिटी है तो सोल का क्वालिटी ओनली कैन टच अनदर स्पिरिट. सो अटेंशन ही नाम प्रभु को टच कर सकते हैं. That I have explained. How attention is very valuable. Today, the biggest business is attention business. Google. देखो इतना इतना वैल्यू है उसका. पूरा दुनिया का पूरा पैसा उसमें घूम रहा है, अटेंशन को एक कमोडिटी बना के. That is why various things are there just to grab your attention. How many hits, how many followers, how many ये सब अटेंशन ग्रैबिंग का हिसाब है. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.